It's kind of like if you have 100% attention available, and if 70% of it's on the little voice and all the problems it seems to be presenting, regarding my life, and you've only got 30% of your attention left, just using simple mathematics to deal with the world. And I can remember when that was happening, I was crashing into things, and my situational awareness quotient or whatever was pretty poor, even though I thought I was on top of things because I was having all these thoughts about how it is. I wasn't really enmeshed or in full participatory mode with what is. Most of the time I was just looping in my head, with the 70% of my attention. So in a way this is, if you took the spiritual part of it out, it's almost like this is a new psychology in a way. It could be looked at that way. And it does seem to work wonders for folks that are suffering. I don't see anybody that's suffering too badly here tonight, but sometimes when I'm giving satsang, people come for succor. They come from, and I just, I help them the best I can. I'm not a therapist. I don't do therapy, but I take the stand that this is all non-pathological, that they're not ill. I refuse to. I don't feel ill. I have discomfort, but I don't pathologize myself and say I'm a sick person. That's not my identity. I don't accept that as my identity, or a well person either, for that matter. We're identified at so many levels. I know there's a lot of chakra reading going on here today. And we're identified at every chakra. It seems like. For sure at the second chakra. There's this huge polarity going on between us. At the level of the second chakra. I suppose there needs to be some polarity for procreation to happen, but I really don't think that it's, I remember when I was young, as in my teens and early 20s, I was totally identified sexually. I gotta go find a woman. That's the way I felt at that time. But that's kind of dropped away. I feel pretty androgynous right now. I'm getting old, and my chemicals are all goofed up. It's kind of a relief. It really is. And I would never have said that when I was younger, because I had so much pride in my virility, that was such a big part of my identity. And I'm saying that at all levels, at the level of being a man or a woman, white or black, the whole racial trip, the whole nationalistic, political trip. I'm not even claiming to be a human being anymore, And I could, just keep raising the level of identity that I could say I'm a being of light, everything else. But why do I need to say anything? Why do I need to identify myself? Why can't I just simply be still and be as I am? Of course, I'm not being real still right now. But, but all this speaking is coming from stillness. And none of it's the truth. But the value it has is we pay attention to words, and words can point. And the words can be used, in some cases skillfully, in some cases, whatever, but at least they can be used to point you back to your core and give you some topics that you can run your own experiment on, that you can inquire for yourself into. You don't really need me to tell you the truth, because I can't tell you the truth, but I can point to what seems to be truth. Rumi, the guy that wrote the poem that I recited earlier, said, I think he's credited with saying that which is truest in me has never uttered a word. More questions? More comments? Anecdotal, you know.
Question for all today, but what do you see in us? I see you connect to us at a deeper level. What is it that you see from your place of you, the blue sky?
It's not so much that I see anything. I feel. When I look at you, I feel. I feel you. You know, I mean, it's just like I feel an upwelling. You know, you feel. Yeah. In satsang is just magic. I can remember when I was doing this, I'd drive 200 miles to get to a satsang. If there wasn't anything going on local, I went to so many. I was so confused, you know, at the mental level. And just the little pieces would just start dropping away every time I went. And when people come, they're confused. I say, go to satsang, and you don't need to limit it to mind. You know, just go to whenever if somebody's holding a satsang, and it's a real satsang. You know, which I think they say the computer people, IMHO, in my humble opinion, it basically has to do with finding out who you are. You know, any kind of a meeting where you're just really looking to find out who you are, and as my teacher Ganeshan said, there's an uncertainty there, that you're lucky enough to have an uncertainty, that you don't have such a complete model of yourself that you've got it all boxed up in memory where you can haul it out and regurgitate it. You know, if somebody asks you who you are. I can remember asking my father, you know, if he'd ever been curious about who he was, and he just looked at me and he went, harumph, you know, or guffaw, and he says, I know who I am. I'm Elton J. Nickel. You know, what the hell are you talking about? You know, there was no uncertainty there. You know, so yeah, he thought I was ready for the loony bin, and he'd been there, so he should know, right? That I see beauty, you know. I mean, I just see beauty. You know? Shining everywhere. And when the self-concern kind of drops away, why, that's just so available, it just becomes obvious. You know, it's not a special seeing, it's all it's ordinary at the same time. So, yeah?
So, in certainty or uncertainty, if you hold on to an identity of what you are not, yet you do not have a certainty about what you are, is that still limiting?
Well, you may not have found out everything that you're not if you hold a limited view of what you're not. You know what I'm saying? It gets a little tricky there. So the key word there is holding. You know, what you look and see if the holding is necessary onto an opinion. You know, if you really need to hold an opinion strong, if you need it for support, you know, then find out who it is that needs the support. You know, in other words, and is that the truth of who you are? You know, the way you're identifying yourself now, it might be that you're identifying yourself as a limited being that needs support. I'm saying it's possible to shine the light of awareness on that belief and see whether it's really true or not by simply looking within. Yeah. You can do that now.